Hi, welcome back. This is VQ Workbook, Lesson 9. Let's get started. Acquiesce. Acquiesce to the demand. That means to submit or comply silently or without protest. That means you are saying okay reluctantly. When your teacher demands a lot of homework from you, what can you do? There's not much you can do except to acquiesce to the demand. Beguile. Beguiled by the devil, and that is being misled or del being deluded. So the definition to beguile is to mislead or to delude, and we are beguiled by the devil from the word guile, which means deception or trickery. So when we are beguiled, we are tricked and deceived by the devil. Deference. Show deference to elders. Basically, kids should respect the elders and what? Show respectful submission to the opinions of others. So we're basically saying, hey, you're older, so I'll say you're right. I won't argue with you just to show you respect. That is showing deference to elders. Elicit. Elicit answers from students. That means to draw out by discussion. That is for a teacher to ask questions to draw out opinions or feelings from the students and let them express their feelings or express whatever opinions they have. And so we might also get a sentence like this. His insensitive remarks elicited anger. That means he drew out anger from the audience or the listeners because he made some insensitive remarks, and so he is causing that to happen. Florid. Florid complexion. That is ruddy, reddish, or flowery. So complexion, we're talking about the color of skin, usually on the face. And it could also refer to very flowery style, as in style of writing or drawing or things like that. So if you have a very florid writing style, it's very flowery in the sense that it's very descriptive and creative and things like that. Here in the photo, the child has very florid complexion on his face. Indict. Indict the suspect. And that means to charge formally for a crime. Please note the pronunciation. It is indict. The C is silent in this word. So for a criminal, this is the normal process. He would, if he is suspected of some kind of crime, he will be arrested first, and then he will be put in jail. And while he's in jail, and I think in the first 48 hours or so, the lawyers, the prosecutors will see if there's enough evidence against them, and then they will do the indictment, which is charging him formally with the crime. They could hold him for a certain period of time before they actually charge him, but they have to do this indictment. And then he will be sent to trial later, and then the jury will come back with a verdict, and then he will get the sentencing, which is how much of jail time or prison time he would get. Mercenary, selfish and mercenary. If you are mercenary, you're interested in money or gain or like personal gain. Originally, the word mercenary referred to soldiers who fight for money. So you might have heard of, say, the Hessians in history class. The Hessians were famous hundreds of years ago as soldiers who fought for any country that paid them enough money. And so the poster I have here is for the A Team. This is recently a movie. This is the movie poster, very popular TV show back in the 80s, about a group of people who are ex-soldiers and now working as mercenaries. So they would go on special projects for money, basically. So they don't belong to any country. Now, if we say something like selfish and mercenary or mercenary motives, we're talking about anyone who cares more about the money, cares about the money first and nothing else really. That is the selfish and mercenary attitude. Ponderous. Ponderous lecture, ponderous burden. That is very weighty and unwieldy. It means it's very heavy, right? So ponderous lecture is very heavy and dull and boring lecture. I'm sure most lectures you'll get in high school or college are going to be very ponderous lectures. Or ponderous burden is a very heavy load you have to carry. Now, in the case of the elephant, you can talk about how his movements are very ponderous movements. That's very slow, heavy, and unwieldy. Reserve. Judge's air of reserve, and that is being self-controlled. If you show reserve, then you have self-control. So the air used in this phrase means the demeanor or the appearance of the judge. Usually we think of judges being very calm and serious all the time. So we would talk about the judge's air of reserve, the seriousness or the calmness associated with his demeanor. Susceptible. Susceptible to colds. Impressionable or easily influenced. We would often say that children are more susceptible to colds than adults or to any other disease. They are more likely to be affected because their immune systems are weaker than adults' immune systems. Thanks for watching. Get the workbook if you don't have one.